Hello and welcome back to ERU, where we round up the biggest results and talking points from across European football. Joining me on this Monday morning, Monday evening for you guys watching it, it's Henry Hill. Henry, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. Still on board this West Ham United train. Been loving that last night. Actually slightly disappointed with results across Europe. Not many sort of upsets I was hoping for, but a lot of great draws. I don't know if you saw the Milan derby. That was actually a bit of a thriller. Sort of rated Çalhanoğlu almost semi-celebrating when he scored his penalty as well. So you see he wanted to, but he sort of stopped himself. But yeah, what about you? What was your highlight of the weekend?
Highlight of the weekend? What was the highlight of the weekend? I thought the Manchester derby was pretty soul-destroying in many ways, but it was kind of interesting watching a team just completely just not have anywhere close to matching their greatest rivals, and 7 goals conceded in 2 games now against, Liverpool and Man City, not looking too good for them. Barcelona, Celta Vigo was a brilliant game. We'll get onto that in due course. But we're going to kick off with our story of the week. And normally for story of the week, because it does better actually, it's a simple fact that we get more views if we include a transfer story. We tend to include a transfer story. But this week, we actually are involved. We're talking about a story from the Irish Premier League, because a game was suspended for the most bizarre reason I've possibly ever heard. Henry, what went down this weekend in Ireland?
Actually nuts that this happened on the pitch at all. So a game between Waterford and league leaders Shamrock was suspended on Friday because the players were struck by fireworks. And I've seen the footage on social media on YouTube. It is wild, actually. I mean, after 15 minutes, you can see them throwing onto the pitch. See players going down because they're getting struck. It's not like a flare. To be clear, these are like properly big exploding fireworks going off in various players' faces. We saw the same hashtag United game this weekend as well. Player got suspended. He looks in horrible pain. I don't want to sound like an old man, but these are like a really serious. These are serious toys, and certainly shouldn't be anywhere near a football pitch, should they? I mean, players and coaches covering their heads, ducking for cover. Waterford's Anthony Wordsworth left holding his face, as we said. If you take that in the eye, and that's like a career-ending injury, isn't it? That's bottom line. It's not. Yeah. You can have people running on pitch, whatever. It's not going to cause world's most damage, but something like a firework in football, it's nuts. It's nuts. I'll be really intrigued to see what happens next. But yeah, because it's kind of unbelievable to see that, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, forget about career-ending. It's a life-ruining injury, to be honest. If you're blind in one eye, that really affects you for the rest of your life. And to see this, I think they mainly suggested it's from the Shamrock Rovers away fans, but it was really pretty disgraceful. And in the end, the game was suspended for 8 minutes. There was a PA announcement telling everyone to calm down, and the game would be abandoned if the antisocial behaviour continued. But I'm surprised the game wasn't abandoned then and there, to be totally honest.
Yep.
But after it calmed down off the pitch, Shamrock got on with their job on it. They won 3-1 to move a massive 15 points clear at the top of the table in the Irish Premier League with 2 games to play. Bizarrely though, as Henry said, this wasn't the only incident. Hashtag United's Mata Skriniar was hit on the ankle. And that game was actually suspended because the people that were exploding fireworks out of their own house refused to stop doing it during the game. It just goes to show, I don't know why, there's a lot of frustration around in multiple countries right now, probably created by the pandemic and being stuck indoors, but people just going completely over the top and getting way too overexcited with the little bit of freedom they've been given. But yeah, I totally agree with Henry. Completely sort of disgraceful scenes to see at a football match. And we're very lucky that Anthony Wordsworth and the rest of the players from both sides weren't more badly affected. So guys, let us know what you guys thought of this incident in the comments down below. Really, really bizarre way to kick off ERU, but we had to cover it. And let's move on to our result of the week.
For our result of the week, there are a number of comebacks from across Europe which gathered our attention. Some thrilling draws actually, but we're going for Brave Huss 24 suggestion of Leipzig 2, Dortmund 1. Doogie, we previewed this on Continental Club. How did this game go down?
Yeah, we did. Please go and watch Continental Club from Friday night. We were back in location in the East Dulwich Tavern. It was a lot of fun to be back. And yeah, Henry and McCubb said Leipzig would win this one. I went for Dortmund, and they, as usual, were right. But yeah, there was lots of good results across Europe. Atletico Madrid drew a crazy game with Valencia 3-3. Venezia shocked Mourinho's Roma 3-2 in a game that sees Roma drop 3 points behind fourth place Atalanta. Not in a good place, Mourinho's Roma at the moment. But given RB Leipzig's 2-1 win over Dortmund had a bigger bearing on the title race in the Bundesliga, we've decided to cover this one. This was arguably Jesse Marsch's biggest result since taking over Leipzig in the summer, and it was a fully deserved win as well. They had 54% possession, they had 14 shots with 6 on target to Dortmund's 11 and 3, but they restricted Dortmund to just 0.7 xG. That's their second lowest, of their season so far, only being kept fewer sort of great opportunities against Gladbach in a game where they created just 0.6. But Leipzig created 2.4 expected goals themselves. That's the 5th time in 6 matches since they lost to Bayern Munich that they've created over 2 expected goals. So as we said on Continental Club, Jesse Marsch and his side slowly getting things together, and they've been sort of improved in their threat by the magnificent form of Nkunku and also Yusuf Poulsen as well, who we'll come on to in due course. But this game was really about the Frenchman, former PSG Academy product Christopher Nkunku. He opened the scoring in the 29th minute after an incredible Gvardiol pass. So nice, arcing behind the back line, Akanji not going with his man. Royce then equalised in the 52nd minute, an equally nicely worked goal with great work in the build-up from Brand to Meunier exchanging passes, Meunier playing a lovely ball behind to Marco Royce. And then Nkunku set up Poulsen for a tap-in at the back stick to win it, I think in the 69th minute I believe it was. Leipzig are now up to 5th, they're just 4 points behind 3rd place Freiburg, who lost 2-1 to Bayern Munich on Saturday. So it's getting pretty tight between 2nd and sort of 5th, 6th in the Bundesliga. But for Dortmund, Henry, not a good afternoon.
Yeah, it wasn't a good day at all for Marco Rose, going back to the city of his birth in Leipzig, and he's now watched his side slip 4 points behind Bayern Munich in the title race as well. And I mean, there's always inevitability with Bayern that you feel like they're going to just wrench open that gap at the top, and sure enough, they're averaging 3.6 goals per game at the moment. Only Freiburg have conceded fewer than their 11, and their goal difference is plus 29. That's 6 better than Chelsea, and that's the next best side in Europe's top 5 leagues. They really are kind of imperious form, aren't they? And on the flip side of that is Dortmund's defensive issues continue to really hinder them at the moment in the season. They've kept 1 clean sheet versus Sporting, and that's in 15 League and Champions League games this season. That's simply not good enough. It's just not good enough, is it? If you're trying to compete for a title or anything, I mean, even most mid-table sides expected to have kept more clean sheets than 1 at the moment. And their 17 goals conceded in the league is only topped by 6 sides. Armenia, who are 17th, have conceded 16, so that shows you really where their defence is operating at the moment. And it's difficult for them, really, when they don't have an Erling Haaland at the other end who can get them out of situations. So a bit sort of ham-tied at the moment are Dortmund. You know, we saw some of their defensive problems for the first goal. Akanji just doesn't really mark, and Nkunku, like you said, had an amazing game. And then for the second one, Poulsen manages to outmuscle his man to get in. Yusuf Poulsen, by the way, been with Leipzig since they were in the 3rd tier of German football. He really is. He really knows that club inside and out. It is pretty incredible to see his sort of continued rise within that squad. So yeah, sort of shout out to him. But yeah, Dortmund's defence, they need people like Guerrero and Schultz who are out injured. They had a sort of Torgan Hazard playing at left wing back, which isn't really what you want from at the moment. But yeah, listen, I'm sure they'll manage to turn things around eventually. Key performers, Mukiele, he was excellent at the back. 6 tackles and interceptions, 5 aerial duels, 2 dribbles and 1 shot. But yeah, Christopher Nkunku, man of the match, 2 tackles and interceptions. He even won an aerial duel. Small guy, is really impressive. 4 dribbles, 2 key passes, 5 shots. He's really become that striker which Jesse Marsch needs at the moment. And yeah, he hit the post after an amazing sort of double spin, didn't he? That
was so nice,
dazzling the players in the box there. So yeah, Nkunku, we said on Continental Club he could have a big game. Sure enough, he's turned up. You know, and Leipzig have a great chance now to cut the gap after the international break. They take on 10th place Hoffenheim. You never know quite what you're going to get from them this season. Only won 2 of the last 5 games. Meanwhile, Dortmund take on Stuttgart, who've actually probably had a bit of a disappointing season so far too. Yeah, I said it on last week. I'll say it again. I'm thrilled for Jesse Marsch. I think this is more than he deserves. And yeah, they finally got a big win over a big side, which is what he was looking for. But I mean, Dukes, do you share my same concerns over Dortmund without Haaland?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. They just don't seem to be getting better defensively and switching off. Like, these are top performers. It's Hummels, Akanji making mistakes. Hummels getting sent off in midweek in the Champions League. Akanji just basically not tracking his man for the first goal and leaving Gregor Kobel to pull out sort of wonderful saves game after game. And it's just not good enough from this Dortmund side if they want to, as you say, challenge for titles. The good news is that I think some of their injury issues are slightly easing. I think Haaland's going to be back in the start of December. I think Guerrero and Gio Reyna as well are approaching a return as well, so it could pick up for them. But yeah, Dortmund fans, are you a little bit concerned that you might slip into sort of, mediocrity this year, and you've got a big ask to qualify out of the Champions League as well? So let us know what you guys think about your season and whether Marco Rose is actually under a little bit of pressure. I know that seems ridiculous to say, given his reputation gained at Gladbach over the last few years, but a few more results like this and a few more performances like this, and he could come under more pressure. So guys, what do you think about Dortmund's season so far? Let us know in the comments down below. And let's move on to our star of the week. Okay, it's time for Star of the Week, and as Henry was just saying to me off camera, yes, I do have a bit of a cold. It's why I sound a bit nasally this morning. It's not a particularly attractive sound.
No, it's a gorgeous mix between slightly ill and presentable.
Maybe it sounds like I've been smoking 20 a day for the last week or so. But anyway, our Star of the Week, far more important than my voice and nose, is Iago Aspas at the session of @around_juice. What went down with one of your favourite players in La Liga, Henry? You love Iago Aspas.
Yeah, I do. He's the people's prince of of Vigo. He's amazing. He's dug them out of so many situations over the years. Just absolutely loves playing for the club. Sure enough, he's saved them once more. They came back from 3-0 down against Barcelona. It did not look like that was going to happen at all, I should say. At home in Vigo. He started the comeback after 52 minutes when he tucked home after Ter Stegen's spilled Javi Galán shot, and then he grabbed the equaliser in the 95th minute with an arcing shot from the edge of the area. Such a beautiful finish at such an important moment in the match as well. He could have maybe scored at the very start of the game. Unlucky not to walk away with a hat-trick, but I mean his stats were nuts. 5 key passes, that's huge. 4 shots, 2 goals. He's now on 9 goals and 3 assists in 16 games versus Barcelona alone. So, like I said, he's a big game player. He loves playing for his hometown. Love him. What can I say? But yeah, Diggs, I mean, this isn't exactly what we expected. But I think like an injury to Fati looks to have really threw Barcelona off in this game. Yeah,
he'd started well actually and scored a great goal himself out of kind of nothing. But Barcelona were looking pretty solid, I think, for the first half. And this is not how Sergi Barjuan would have wanted to sort of end his temporary reign in charge. Especially as they, as I said, started so well in that first half, scored that wonderful goal through Fati. Busquets also grabbed a great goal and Depay tucked home a header as well. Celta Vigo were slightly probably unlucky not to win over the course of the whole game though. They had 52% possession, which is not what you'd expect against Barcelona. They had 18 shots with 4 on target to Barca's 10 and 6. XG had it at 1.8 to 1.1 in their favour, which goes to show the quality of finishing from both sides. They did manage to up their intensity after going 3 goals down, forced Barcelona into a number of errors, not least Busquets, who was robbed for the second goal. That's, a couple of errors in recent weeks after one against Rayo Vallecano a couple of weeks ago from Busquets as well. Araujo then failed to clear for the third, and then they didn't close down Aspas nearly effectively enough for the equaliser. Xavi's first day, though, it's today. He's in the hot seat now. Barcelona have had to pay Al Sadd the €5 million buyout clause. That's on top of the €12 million they had to pay Ronald Koeman, according to Guillaume Balaguer. So it's getting into quite an expensive operation changing coaches. And arguably, it's a bit of a gamble, I would say, as well. He takes over with the club in 9th. They're 10 points behind Real Madrid and 6 off 4th place Atleti, who could only draw last night against Valencia. Henry, what are your thoughts on Xavi coming in? Is it a bit of a risk? Do you think they'll see an upturn in form? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think so. I think this is a really smart appointment. Yeah, I know there's this kind of bizarre obsession with the Barcelona DNA and playing the Barcelona way. And actually, Xavi comes as close to ticking all those boxes as possible, if that's what they're generally the route they're going to go down for. He's going to command respect from the players there. I've read a lot about his coaching style at Al Sadd. He managed to take a group of players in Al Sadd and make them a very good footballing side and sort of dominating that league. So if he can apply that, he'll need time, but I think he's going to get it from Laporte. Laporte's finally got his man. It should be quite harmonious. I'm excited. I think we could see maybe what Gerrard's done when he's gone to Rangers. I think it's the right appointment for the right club. So yeah, I'm fully behind this as a process, and I think it's right that Barcelona have made this decision at the moment.
Fair enough. I've got a slightly different take. I think it's quite risky, to be honest. I know mid-season there weren't a lot of options available, and I don't think they should have probably appointed Koeman in the first place. But I don't know whether getting a complete novice in, who we don't really know how he's going to work in terms of his man management style, in terms of his style, you assume he's going to go the sort of Barcelona way. But you know, the good thing is that a lot of the players playing under him have either played with him, or idolised him growing up. So he should be able to get an immediate bounce. But in terms of long-term, what he's going to be like in terms of recruitment, man management, it's a bit of a risk, I think. And Barcelona right now can't really afford a risk. So I would have probably gone for a safer option or made a big play for Erik ten Hag. Mid-season, it's unlikely to have got him. So maybe this is the least worst option. But for me, it's a bit of a gamble. But Barcelona fans, we crucially want your opinion. Are you like with Henry? Are you very excited about this appointment? Or are you like me, a little bit more sceptical? Maybe it's just... yeah, in my old age, I'm getting a little bit miserable. Who knows? Let me know in the comments down below. And that's all we've got time for on ERU for this week. I hope you've enjoyed this week's show and it hasn't been ruined by my weird nasally voice. Henry, what should they go and watch now if they've enjoyed this video?
Got a scout report out, I'm sure. Got top 10s. Go support the EFD channel at the moment. If you haven't watched Pat and I's video on 3 managers ready for the Premier League, go check it out.
Nice. Lots of great content across Euro Football Daily, Football Daily and Football Daily Podcast as usual. Thanks very much for watching, guys. We'll catch you next time. Goodbye.